man. Day 2 of the NFL draft. The Eagles just keep winning. The past couple days have been nuts. I've been really enjoying it. Howie Roseman is having a ball. You know, his decisions, his scouts, what they have been doing, best player available, positions we really need bad, and the players that we're getting, it's just so overwhelming at this point. Now, we got done with the first round the other night. Obviously, the second and third rounds are done with one more day left. I want to go over, obviously, the 2 prospects we did draft, the trade back, and some news behind the scenes at running back and some things kind of swirling around for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. So let's get into all of that news. Let's do a recap of day 2 for the Philadelphia Eagles of the NFL draft. Boom. Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope it's on a fantastic day. So day 2 of the NFL draft, guys. It really started out where the Eagles had 62 and 66 picks in the second and third round, and they ended up trading back that 62nd pick back to the Texans. The Texans ended up moving up, and the Eagles had picks 65 and 66. But from that trade back for the Eagles, you know, since the Eagles aren't going to be really bored for the third day of the draft, they got a 6th-round pick and an extra 7th-round pick. So now with the Eagles having a 6th-round pick and 3 7th-round picks for the third day of the draft, which is great. So I thought that was really good value, trading back, getting picks like that, and still getting the player that they really wanted. Okay, so who did the Eagles draft? What's going on? Are people a big fan of these draft picks? I don't know. So they had 65, 66 third-round picks, okay? Now, they drafted Tyler Steen from Alabama, okay? Interesting enough. Now, he's 6'6", 325, okay? We know when it comes to offensive line with Jeff Stoutland, we knew they weren't going to overreach for an offensive line this year because you have such a good coaching staff, such a good offensive line coach, and obviously is the run game coordinator for the Eagles as well, and Jeff Stoutland. But when he sees talent, he takes advantage of it. I mean, he turned a rugby player into an all-pro left tackle, okay? It's insane what Jeff Stoutland could do with some of these guys. But Tyler Steen at 6'6", 325 is interesting. He actually started as a defensive tackle in Vanderbilt, transferred to Alabama last year, and played tackle. I don't know if he just played 13 games or more than that. But Tyler Steen was the starting left tackle for Bryce Young. He took care of Bryce Young's blind side. As of right now, like, when you look at the statistics for him, I could see why the Eagles really loved him. Okay, so just check this out, okay? He's only given up 2 sacks in 498 snaps. He's only given up 2 sacks in almost 500 snaps, guys. I mean, it's ridiculous. But here's the next thing that's interesting. So 3,057 career snaps at left tackle, right tackle. Now, he's projected as an offensive guard, which is interesting. Okay, so potentially you can have this guy if they mold him wherever. So when they showed video of him at the draft, he played left tackle, but he plays left tackle, right tackle, and he has the physical capability to play guard. So technically, they can redshirt him this year. Technically, they can have him compete with Cam Jurgens for right guard. Wait till Kelsey retires. Have Jurgens move to center. Have Tyler Steen go to guard, and then once Lane Johnson goes, retires in a couple of years, you can move him to right tackle if you want. I think the Eagles are going to trade Tyler Steen. They're going to cross-train Tyler Steen at multiple positions. I think it will be only the right side, but you never know. You know what I mean? You always need a backup at left tackle just in case, but he already knows that position well. So if you really start to mold him a little bit, have him play right tackle, have him, I don't know if they think Cam Jurgens is the guy. Is this guy going to compete with Cam Jurgens? Is that what the Eagles are expecting right now? Or is Cam Jurgens already starting at right guard and this guy is just going to cross-train at multiple positions? This is a big talent, guys, and Jeff Stoutland is going to get his hands all over this. And I really like this pick, and it's an Alabama pick, so you really can't You really can't complain about it at all. But I was really happy with it. I was waiting for an offensive line. Like, they have to draft an offensive line between the second and third rounds. Really, before the trade back, I was kind of saying, we got to get somebody here offensively. The Eagles have touched on this defense way too much, which I can't complain because the Eagles obviously had 11, 12 free agents this past year. And, I expected them to draft some guys on defense, but an offensive lineman, obviously with Jack Driscoll only back there and Dillard, moved, Dillard signed with the Tennessee Titans, you really have no depth on this offensive line now. So now you bring in a guy that can play pretty much left tackle, right guard, right tackle, which is absolutely amazing. I think is great. So really like this pick a lot. And 2 sacks and almost 500 snaps. That's all he's given up in 500 snaps. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Love that pick so much. Can't wait till Jeff Stoughton gets his hands on him. Pause. The next pick for the Philadelphia Eagles, and this one I actually really liked. I actually went over him on the channel, and that's Sidney Brown from Illinois, okay? So he was with the 66th pick. Okay, now Sidney Brown is a ball hawk. Sidney Brown is probably, as really from PFF last year, as the 4th highest grade coverage safety out of over 780 safeties last year. He was ranked 4th best overall in coverage. Tackling is solid, could work on that a little bit more. He's 5'8", a little over 200 pounds. So or 5'10", sorry. There were a lot of reports that he was 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot. I saw a lot of 6 foot. So I'm like, well, which one is it? So he is 5'10", a little bit over 200. It was like 210 pounds, something like that. Which is, a little small, but not, nothing crazy. Obviously, if he was a little bit bigger, he probably would have been a higher pick as a safety, but he had 6 interceptions last year. He's got really long arms. His coverage is amazing. So I want to find out from the Philadelphia Eagles, what do they think of him? Okay, so obviously the Philadelphia Eagles, this is what they think. They said he's tough, he's smart, he's dependable, he's a dependable football player. They said according to Brown, even Sidney Brown has talked about himself in a lot of ways, is that he separates him from other safeties in a way that he studies the game. So I know that this guy has a really high IQ. Reminds me of Malcolm Jenkins in a lot of ways too, because I think when it comes to being a versatile player, he could play multiple positions. I don't think he will sit at safety. I think he can actually start immediately. I think this guy will actually make some noise because at the end of the day, guys, Terrell Edmunds is probably going to start. Reed Blankenship is going to have some competition, and you never know what could happen here. Reed Blankenship can be really kicked out of his spot by Sidney Brown right now. Okay, which I think is very realistic. Now, an outstanding safety, obviously 6 picks in 22, 3rd highest coverage among grade safeties. I read 4, but he's the 3rd highest grade, 5.2% on the run stop rate. Okay, he's the most athletic safety in this draft. He was the most athletic. So when it comes to the combine, he actually tested the number 1 safety as the most athletic safety, which I think is pretty cool. Now, this is what the Eagles really think of Sidney Brown, which I thought it was pretty cool to hear this. So Sidney Brown was a Red Star player for the Eagles, okay? Someone who exemplifies what it means to be an Eagle. It's based on character, team captain, testing numbers, intelligence, practice, playing style. Every scout stamps their Red Star on a player during Wednesday's meeting. Yeah, that's really cool to hear that he's got leadership quality and, he really dives into the playbook of the defense and dives into, obviously, the offense he's facing and, in situations where they're going to move him and what he has to watch out for. Like, he is a learner, okay? And that's really good for a younger guy going to an NFL team because this guy is going to really make some noise, okay? I think, like I said, the coverage is fantastic. His speed, he runs like a 4.4, something like that. I think he's got really good speed. And he's one of the best safeties in coverage. One of the best. Top 3, top 4 in coverage out of over 780 safeties. Okay, so I don't know, until we get on the field on training camp, we're not really going to know what's going to happen here, but this was a needed pick. Terrell, after losing Chauncey Gardner, really what I'm hearing about this pick mostly is really, this is a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson type player, but with more ceiling. Okay, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson wasn't a great tackler. I think his coverage ability was great. Wasn't the best tackler. I think we could kind of say that about Sidney Brown. I think his tackling is a little bit better, and I think will actually be more of a all-around pretty good safety, but his coverage skills are probably better, to be honest. They're probably going to be better by a landslide. So once we get into camp, you got Terrell Edmunds, you got now Sidney Brown, Reed Blankenship, Justin Evans they signed as a free agent that's hurt every single year, but just a veteran presence to compete, and Kevon Wallace and his contract is kind of dwindling down a little bit. Sidney Brown will probably be a special teamer, and who knows? I think there's a chance here where he could compete with Reed and might beat him out. You never know. And if he was a little bit taller, he probably would have been a higher pick. Probably a little bit bigger, probably would have been a higher. What I'm really happy is he is over 200 pounds, and he's a hard-hitting tackler. He's great. He lays the thump, which is good. So there's a lot of good things to take from him. So I'm excited about him. I think this is a really good pick. I had him on my board in the third, fourth round if they were going to get him. But they added a lot of safeties, and they're going to have a lot of good, healthy competition going to training camp with the safety position. So I'm pretty excited about it. So I love the Tyler Steen pick. I love Sidney Brown. I thought both these picks were not only needs, but they needed an offensive lineman for the future. So I'm actually can't wait to see during training camp what they're doing with Tyler Steen and where they're moving him. And obviously the competition at safety as well is going to heat up pretty nicely. Now we have to go through the undrafted free agents after the draft, see who they sign, see who, didn't get drafted. The Eagles are going to pay a lot of money to come here and try to compete, which is great. So I'm pretty excited for that too. Last, I want to go into the running back position. The Eagles did not draft a running back. Okay, it really started with Bijan going to Atlanta. You had two running backs go in the top 15, which I didn't expect. I didn't expect Jahmyr Gibbs to go with the Lions. Okay, I didn't really expect him to go that early. Okay, now there has been some news. Okay, now we've been looking for, are the Eagles actually comfortable with having Rashad Penny just on this roster in general? Does it not worry you? I mean, Gainwell's great. I think Gainwell's solid. And Rashad Penny is just so injury prone right now. And people were telling me like, oh, he's good. I'm like, his statistics are fantastic. Okay, but why did we get him for $600,000 guaranteed? Because he only played 5 games last year. Do you trust him to be healthy for 17 games? Because if he gets hurt, forget about it. Because people don't realize if one of these running backs gets hurt, they're going to put more into Jalen Hurts' hands. They're going to run with him so much. They're going to have play design runs with him, and he's going to get hit so many times, his career will dwindle down little by little every year, because he will not survive getting hit by contact without having running backs back there that can stay healthy all year. Okay, so is there something else in the mix right now? Now, with the Titans with Derrick Henry is really interesting. Okay, there was rumors about D-Hop. A deal was getting done for D-Hop to go to the Titans. It never happened. Wasn't even official. Now, the Titans ended up drafting Tyjae Spears from Tulane, which I thought it was really interesting. So does that mean, now this is a different GM. This isn't the same GM that drafted Derrick Henry. Okay, this is a totally different GM now. They're making some moves. They drafted a quarterback. They're doing different things now. Okay, so do you think that the Eagles can actually make a trade for Derrick Henry? Henry has one more year left on his deal. It's a $16 million cap hit, okay, but they could spread that money out for a few years, 3 years, make the third year voided so they don't lose any money, or they can get rid of him after 2 and they won't be affected by it. So post-June trade for Derrick Henry, the Titans will save over $11 million in cap space, $5 million dead cap, which I think there's going to be something here. I don't know. I feel like he's getting moved. I'm not saying that drafting Tyjae Spears was like, that means that, Derrick Henry's gone, but, that team is going to change. That team is going to have a new quarterback soon. That team is not going to build around your running back, which I don't know why teams build around their running backs, not their quarterbacks. It makes absolutely no sense. But could Derrick Henry be available post-draft? since they will save a lot of money by trading him. He's due $10 million. His cap hits $16 million. I think they could spread it out nicely. The Eagles have a little bit of cap to spend here, so if they really want to take Derrick Henry, there could be a chance. Okay, but the Eagles, they've just been really quiet at this position. Very quiet. And people are going to tell me in the comment section, well, they're quiet because they already have their guys. They're not going to do anything. I just don't think that is Howie Roseman really comfortable with this running back core the way it is. I feel like if one guy goes down, they're screwed. If Boston Scott goes down, maybe not as screwed. But if Gainwell goes down, you're going to give more snaps. Because really, at the end of the day, you're going to give more snaps to Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny is going to be leading this backfield. Okay, it's not Gainwell Penny. Penny is leading this backfield 1,000,000%. So distributing these running backs with the ball is going to be very important for the Philadelphia Eagles and keeping them healthy all year. Not even just Derrick Henry. This was really before the draft even started. There was rumors like DeAndre Swift wants out. He's done. And I wouldn't mind a trade like this. The problem is he's another guy that's a big what if because he's had injuries. Now, has he had as many injuries as Rashad Penny? Definitely not, but at least with DeAndre Swift, I could trust it. At least if they add another body, that's all I really want at this point. Add another body, keep all your running backs healthy with a really healthy, rotation. That's really kind of what I'm looking for right now with some of these guys. Because after when the Lions drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, the rumors were swirling already that DeAndre Swift was like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm already out the door pretty much. Like, let me just, pay me what you got to pay me and let me go, or whatever the case may be, whatever they're doing with the contract of his. I haven't really looked at it in a while, so I'm not really sure. But, if Swift wants, I'd rather have Swift than Rashad Penny just because he's been hurt less, but still, Swift's still injury prone. He's less of an injury prone type player than Penny, but at least if they add one more running back. I like the running backs we have. I just don't trust the health of Rashad Penny. That's where it comes from. Okay, if they added Swift, they traded for him, and they can get something done, with a mid-round pick for next year or something. Leonard Fournette's still available. There are guys available if the Eagles want to add another running back, but I just can't sit here and expect that the Eagles sign Rashad Penny and they were like, yep, yeah, we're good, we're fine, and sit there and act like I'm just worried about the distribution of the ball, one guy getting way too much. If Rashad Penny gets too many carries, is he going to stay healthy? That's all I kind of worry about right now because I don't want to get into coming out of training camp, he gets hurt, we have a game to play, and he can't play it for weeks, and that's where I'm kind of afraid right now. I see what we did in 2017, that Super Bowl, with those different type backs. We had keeping defenses on their heels with different types of backs. Having 3-4 different backs, there's no issue with it. I feel like they need to add one more body, at least if it's of another body. If it's Swift and you have two injury-prone running backs, you just got to be smart with them at the end of the day. Just be smart with them. Distribute those carries sparingly, and feel like a guy is getting banged up a little bit, give someone else some carries. So keep the defense on their heels. Let Jalen Hurts do his thing. And, I figured that the Eagles would have made some type of move by now, but they really haven't. So I'm kind of wait post-draft. I don't think anything's going to happen during the draft, even on the third day. I think that something else is going to happen. But I want to know from you guys what you think of the running back position in general. And would you trade for DeAndre Swift? Do you think they need an extra guy? I know a lot of people are going to tell me they have their guys. They have their guys. No. They need to get one more dude. And I think it's going to stabilize that rotation really nicely. It's going to keep Jalen Hurts healthy and not hit that much, and you don't have to rely. They don't have to put. I don't want to put the game into Jalen Hurts' hands. Okay, obviously for certain situations, yes. But for you have some guys injured, so we need to run with Jalen Hurts 3 times on this whole drive. Like I don't want to get into that point where you're running with him and you're literally putting him on suicide missions every single time he's running with the football in his hands. That's what I'm kind of afraid of with it. So that's the news on the running backs. Nothing crazy right now, but we'll see what happens down the road. After the draft, post June, who's available per trade. That's going to be kind of interesting and exciting there's going to be guys on the trade block post-June to save some money before we get into training camp in the season. So it's going to be really interesting. But like I said, we went over Howie Roseman's, couple days of the draft. First, second, third rounds have been fantastic. This draft is still an A+ right now. Not only did you get two of the best defensive linemen in the first round, and they're going to wreak havoc with playing with these Georgia guys and what you're doing with Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. It's so great. Now going into day 2 in the second, third rounds, you trade back. You get a 6th round pick and an extra 7th, which is 3 7th round picks on day 3, which I think is really good. And you got very big needs. Sidney Brown from Illinois, which could be a totally big starter for the Eagles in competition. I think he will be a starter in the future, and he could beat out Reed Blankenship. And Tyler Steen is just a stud. I think he's a stud they're going to mold. I'm interested to see what they do in training camp with him. Is he competing with Cam Jurgens? Is he going to play? Is he going to go behind Lane Johnson? I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if they have a plan for Cam Jurgens to start, compete, whatever the case may be. But you have your backup guy that can play left tackle, right tackle, and right guard, because he has the physical capabilities to play right guard, and he's that athletic. So I can't wait till Jeff Stoutland gets his hands all over him and molds him to what he wants, which I think is pretty cool. So other than that, guys, let me know what you guys think of the past 2 days of the draft so far. Tyler Steen, Sidney Brown. The running back position, are the Eagles going to draft a running back on day 3? Would that be enough? Because most of the good running backs are really gone right now. You guys let me know if they should make a trade for Derrick Henry or DeAndre Swift or anybody else that's available right now. So you guys let me know. I will see you guys on the next video. If you guys have lasted this long, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well. It does help out the channel a lot, and I appreciate all the support throughout the whole entire draft process. We've been having a lot of fun. Has been enjoying the streams as well. I do appreciate it too. We've been having an historic couple nights. Have been great. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.